Hello, I'm Louis Whitaker. I teach language arts to 8th graders, 10th graders, 12th graders. I teach Spanish and an ELL class at Monument Valley High School.
Hi, my name is Cassidy.
My name is Devin Gosney. I teach social studies here at MVHS.
Well, my name is Blossom.
My name is Ryan Taylor. I teach history and physical education here at Monument Valley High School. I also am the head basketball coach and assistant football coach.
Compared to, last year in school, has the iPod helped you enjoy school more, be more engaged in school?
I think it helps me engage more in school because I have more useful to the internet and stuff.
Right.
When I need it, and when I take notes, it's just portable. I can take it anywhere.
Right. Compared to your freshman year to your sophomore year, I know they're different schools, but do you notice a huge difference because you have the iPod available to you?
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the big differences you see?
We hardly use pencil and paper anymore.
Okay.
On the iPod. And they're more better to turn in work to send it to your teachers instead of turning in paper because you might lose them.
Right.
Here in my classroom, my language arts classroom, it's pretty much changed the way we do things from a paper environment to a paperless environment. In the past, I would have students turn things into these boxes, but for the most part, the boxes have stayed empty. Last year, they were filled up with papers, and this year, the kids are emailing me all their assignments, and their feedback is a lot quicker. I can read everything they type. Their handwriting is no longer an issue, and I can give them feedback that they can read in a lot more real environment. At the end of last quarter, my daughter had a surgery. I was missing for the last 3 days of the quarter. My students were still able to turn in assignments. I was able to check them at Primary Children's Hospital in Salt Lake City, 8 hours away from Monument Valley. And in Millard County, Utah, I was able to get all the grading done that I needed to because the iPods allowed us to turn things in electronically.
Have your grades changed this year? Have they changed for the better or worse?
Better.
Better, why?
You can look at our grades on here and then you can send emails. You can get it, teachers what we're missing and all that stuff.
Okay, good. So it's a good better communication.
Yeah.
Some of the students, I've got special ed students turning work in with their iPods that didn't. One special ed student turned in maybe 3 or 4 assignments when I taught him as an 8th grader. This year, he's passing his classes and he's turning his stuff in. And I think that the iPod helps him keep organized, and that's a big benefit for that student's future.
Right.
A lot of students are more engaged now.
Right.
When they're able to use their iPods, because just because, when we do stuff on using electronics or using the iPod, just my perception is that they get more into it. So I have noticed the engagement level going up.
Some of the things that we've done in my classroom using iPod applications, we've used Google Earth. The seniors were reading part of Anne Frank, the Diary of Anne Frank, and it's a powerful story about a girl who's hiding from Hitler and the Germans because she's a Jew, but it became a really powerful story, and we could use the tool of the iPod to use Google Earth and zoom in to Amsterdam and look at the canal from above and see the street in front. Click on Street View and see the actual front of the building that she was hiding in for those years, and that it took a personal story and brought it to a personal level for my students, and it was a powerful connection that these tools helped us create.
Nice, and I think that's one of the big advantages too, is that it gives everybody a little computer.
And I think the medium of communication has changed. I think that the essay was a way for us to practice writing letters to each other through snail mail.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people don't communicate like that anymore.
Right.
I think the medium of communication has changed. We try to stop students from text messaging in class, from emailing each other in education. A lot of schools do that. And the second they leave the doors, they're doing that, and they're often doing it in our class, whether we know it or not. This is how they communicate.
Right.
And if we can harness it instead of fight it, I think we'll have a lot easier time.
Responseware.
Yeah.
How are you liking that? How is it kind of changing what you're doing a little bit?
I really like it. I'm trying to implement it more into my curriculum because it just, obviously, every teacher knows this. When you ask a question in class, you always have the student who goes, "Oh, I know that," and they give the answer, and you go, "Okay." And even if you haven't raised their hands, you always have some students who are shy. And I was like that in school. I was pretty introverted, and so I didn't like to raise my hand in class. And so it lets me get inside their heads more and really assess them and know what they really know, because you can have a few students that really understand it, and then sometimes I think, wow, the class really gets it. But then I give the test and they don't do so well, and I'm like, I thought they really understood it. And because my perception was that of the few students that got it. And so Responseware I really liked.
All my tests have moved to online. I've used UTips to get instant feedback. The students get instant feedback on whether they got the vocab questions right on the vocab tests. We've used Responseware in the class to review things that we're going over in class. They get instant feedback on whether they're right or wrong. It's a great way to review, for kids to use their iPod as a responder, to click the answer that they think is best, and then we see the results of what the class is thinking on a certain topic on the projector instantly, and the kids don't feel like they are dumb if they missed it, because no one knows who chose what, but we just know how many kids have responded. That's been a powerful tool for us.
I have really enjoyed using technology, specifically the iPod this year. I tried to incorporate that in both my history and my physical education classes. Some of the things that we will look at in physical education is applications where students can put in what they've eaten every day, and then the application will break that down into calories, proteins, carbohydrates, different things like that, so they have an idea of how healthy or how unhealthy they may be eating. They also can put in different workouts, so they know about calories that they might be burning. So if they're trying to lose weight, they can look at how many calories they're burning, how many calories they're intaking. There's also different workout programs with these applications, dozens in fact, each with a different purpose, whether they're trying to build muscle, or maybe just tone up, or lose weight, and you can also accent different parts of the body as well. So that's been a great help for the students to kind of help them learn more about what takes place in the body and how the body is made up.
One thing that has been interesting for my ELL class is there's an application called Voice Memo. The kids can turn on Voice Memo and record themselves reading. And it's one thing for a student to read to another student and get feedback on how they're doing. It's a completely different thing for them to record their voice, listen to themselves reading out loud, listen for mistakes, listen for pauses, listen to what they're doing well. And it has been a very effective thing. The students just record themselves 3 times, listen to themselves 3 times, and they email me their best reading of the paragraph for their points. And that has been, I think, a very helpful application on the iPods.
So if other schools in the district were going to do this, what advice do you give them?
I would say you got to have really firm rules, expectations for the students, so they don't think it's just a toy. I would say maybe even do breakout trainings between curriculum, because the school-wide trainings that we've had have been really good. Mm-hmm. But I think that now I almost feel like I want to talk with other maybe history teachers who've used them. And I've actually talked to Mr. Taylor, who's the other social studies, and he teaches PE as well. But I would be interested in getting input from other history teachers, even in other schools or whatever, who use iPods in their classes, because now I feel like I'm kind of plateauing a little bit. Like I feel like I'm using it, but I would like to use it more and more and more with more and more apps and more methods, but to take the time to research all those things, like you said, it's just very time consuming, and so I think that'd be nice.
Okay, so talk about some of the challenges, and looking back. I mean, obviously, there's going to be challenges and what they're probably going to be. Seeing them happen, do we wish that we wouldn't have done this, because it's the challenges outweigh the benefits?
That's a good question. Mrs. Seltzer had us do an online survey using our iPods and iPads as teachers. Do you want to do this again next year, yes or no? 17 out of 18 teachers said yes, with modifications. We want to change some things.
Right.
I mean, there have been some issues that have come up. I'm surprised how many kids don't bring their iPods to class.
So you just have to trust the students, and for the most part, I think the students have been done very well. And that's kind of one of the benefits, is that I think the majority of the students, this is just my perspective and from what I've seen, so I hope I'm right, but I could be wrong. The majority of the students I've found have really been very respectful of that, and mostly use their iPods appropriately when they're supposed to be using them.
But you kind of got to take the bad with the good, so to speak. And again, I think that there's more good that have come about this iPod experiment than the bad.
Excellent.
I don't know. For some of those teachers, I just wish they could see that the future is now. This is no longer, it's a tool.
Right.
This hasn't changed how I interact every second with students. It's still about that relationship with the student. But this device helps them communicate with me. I get way more questions on emails than I do by kids raising their hand.
Yep, I agree.
And they're afraid to look dumb in front of their peers, and they can send me that. It's like a text message, how they do it on their iPods, and that feels safe to them, and I get a lot of questions that normally I wouldn't get because of those devices. And some of our teachers, I feel, still think that the paper pencil way is best, and there's a lot of merit to paper pencil. It's gotten us to where we are now. But I just finished a master's degree without writing one paper by hand. I took 60, 70 credits of a master's program without writing anything down.
Right.
I typed everything. And that's the future. It's not going back.
I agree.
To paper and pencil. And I hope our teachers can see that this is a way for kids to move forward into the future. We're not in a production economy anymore, we're in a knowledge economy. Our students that will succeed with technology helping them, I think.
I agree. Angry Birds.
Angry Birds. I hear the Angry Birds every once in a while when they forget to turn the sound down before they start playing.